Way to go, Tic Tac!
That's how you punch.
Wakanda forever!
Nah, you wouldn't have heard of me.
Let me put you on hold.
Dance off, bro! He's a friend from work!
I can do this all day.
Yeah, I know.
What up, guys? It's Dom, and welcome back to another movie review. Today we are going over and ranking How to Train Your Dragon. How to Train Your Dragon, released in 2025, written and directed by Dean DeBlois, as an ancient threat endangers both Vikings and dragons alike on the Isle of Berk. The friendship between Hiccup, an inventive Viking, and Toothless, a Night Fury dragon, becomes the key to both species forging a new future together. So just a heads up, before I start this review, the original How to Train Your Dragon movie is one of my favorite, if not my favorite, animated movie. So I was both very excited and very worried going into the theaters for this. I loved the movie, so I wanted to obviously see this succeed. I wanted to see them bring that story to life with live action. But I also didn't want them to screw it up, because it would hurt really badly to see this amazing movie turned bad just because they decided to rerun it, which I honestly don't think it was necessary to release this in live action, but they've been doing that with a lot of different animated movies lately, so I understood why this was kind of the next step. But regardless, I think it did really, really well, so let's go over why with the 10 essential aspects of a movie. The first essential aspect is plot. So I think they did a really good job of recreating the same story that they used in the original movie, but doing some slight changes here and there, but they kept the stuff that was really good. The most important scenes and the most important visuals and everything from the first original movie, they kept in this one because obviously they knew it's a winning formula. That movie did really well for those scenes, and they added those scenes in here, and I loved it. I think not only the acting in those scenes made it really good, but because it was a recognizable area, because I've seen these scenes before and loved these scenes before, it did really, really well. Now, the parts that they did change, I did notice, and not that they bothered me, but there's a reason why this first story was written the way it is, because it worked well. They tried to change a little too much in this one, and it was noticeable. Now, it's not always a bad thing in this movie. There were some scenes that they changed, and I did like it. I ended up liking it. But there are some specific ones that I noticed that I said that they should have just kept the original one because it worked so well. It made it smooth. While in this one, it kind of did cut away at the wrong time. But plot-wise, I think that it's a very interesting story from start to finish. Obviously, it worked once, so it's going to work again. There's nothing really bad I can say about the main story arc of this movie. The second essential aspect is attraction. The attraction boils down to, very simply, did you like the first movie? You did? Oh, then you're going to like this one. Or, do you like Vikings and dragons or anything in between? You'll like this movie. It's a very simple concept. It's just Vikings, dragons, olden times. They fight dragons, then they stop because they realize dragons are just misunderstood and not dangerous. Well, not the enemy. So overall, that concept is very simple to understand. It's nothing that's going to confuse the audience. It's something that everyone of all ages can enjoy. So I definitely think the attraction is there. The third essential aspect is theme. I mean, there's plenty of themes you can go with this movie, but the main one that always stuck out to me watching this one and the other one, I mean, just because you're on two different sides doesn't mean that there has to be a wall between you. I mean, you can break down those walls, come together, realize there's some common alignments here that you can work together. You can have these relationships without the brutality of just, oh, you aren't human, so you are the enemy. That's just a bad mentality to have in a lot of different movies, but this one especially. So yes, that might not be a theme, more of a concept, but that's the best I can do with what I can think of. So yeah, that's the theme I'm going with, but let me know what you think could be like an actual theme in the comments. The fourth essential aspect is dialogue. I honestly thought the dialogue was really good in this movie. I think they did a good job of having these chemistry between the characters, talking to each other, feeling like father and son, feeling like two friends, feeling like two enemies. All of these different conversations had within this movie worked. Now, yes, that is also because they were pre-written for the previous movie, so they knew which conversations sounded good, which ones didn't, and they did take those. But there were a lot of conversations had that didn't happen in the first movie. They were brand new to just this movie, and even those worked well. I just think all the actors had good chemistry with each other, and the writing was good to the point where it felt realistic. The fifth essential aspect is acting. So I honestly think that there is no bad acting in this movie. Everyone did at least a decent job. Now, I'm not saying everyone did amazing, but everyone did at least decent. But there are two in particular that I do want to talk about. One is Mason Thames, who played Hiccup. Now, he did have some parts that I didn't really feel like fit the character really well. There were some parts where the acting wasn't perfect, but I think he was the perfect selection to capture this role of Hiccup. We've seen Hiccup before plenty of times, and we wanted them to at least look similar. And this guy, I mean, he looks like Hiccup. He looks like if you took Hiccup off the page, threw him in real life, that's who he would look like. So that alone is a reason I had to mention him here, just the visual resemblance of the character. But overall, he did have good acting. He knew how to recreate this character really, really well, portray him in real life. Besides some of the scenes, especially the ones towards the beginning, I wasn't the biggest fan of. But continuing on, they became good. So him, definitely someone I have to mention. And another one, honestly, the best part of this is Gerald Butler, who played Stoic. I think he was the perfect choice. Not only did he look the part, he sounded the part. When he read his lines, when he said when he portrayed this character and said words, it just sounded exact. I can envision Stoic standing right in front of me. I think he did a really good job of having that deep, growly voice that Stoic would have and did have, while also having this big, dominant presence that Stoic has in the previous movies and in general, how he always should have as this chief of the Vikings. I almost said king. I guess technically, whatever. That's all not necessary. But overall, these two guys were the ones that stole the show for me, at least when it came to visually, but also acting-wise. And the movie would not be the same without them. The sixth essential aspect is cinematography. Oh boy, did they nail this on both fronts. Visually, this movie looked incredible. All the scenes of flying over the Isle of Berk, of all the different dragons, of just the scenery in general, it all looked fantastic. I don't think there was a single ugly scene in this movie at all. It all looked great. And when it came to the emotional side, obviously, I am very emotionally connected with these characters from all the previous movies and now this one. Any emotional scene really could it got to me very badly. I love this movie. I love the lore. I love the characters. So anything emotional really did get to me. And I feel like that does happen with a lot of people when it comes to this story. You get invested with the characters. You get an emotional connection. And then when anything happens, you're feeling it too. So they did a great job with that and recreating the same things that happened in the first movie. So if you've seen it, you're going to know what's going to happen. But yeah, I didn't expect to get teary-eyed or really feel crazily because I've seen this story play out thousands of times. But of course, it still hit me. I mean, they did a really good job of getting you connected with these characters, even in this rerun. So yeah, 100% cinematography, amazing on both fronts. The eighth essential aspect is soundtrack. Oh yeah, this soundtrack, just as good as I remember it. I mean, they kept the same soundtrack from the original movie because it just works so well. The feeling you get when listening to this song makes you think of Vikings, of dragons, of the same concept that is going on in this movie. I think it fits perfectly. It's always played in the perfect moments. It has this, when they're flying and you hear that soundtrack, it almost feels like you're flying with them. It does a really good job of getting you there through the soundtrack. So A+. The ninth essential aspect is directing. So I feel like it's the director's job to take these previous 8 essential aspects, put them together to make a movie that's worth watching. And the director of this movie is Dean DeBlois, and he previously directed 6 movies, and they were Lilo and Stitch, Sigur Rós Rema, How to Train Your Dragon, How to Train Your Dragon 2, How to Train Your Dragon: The Hidden World, and 10. So this is obviously just the only thing I have to mention. He has directed every single How to Train Your Dragon movie. So why would he not be the one to direct this one? I mean, he is the only man for the job. All those movies are good. And he's basing it off of the first one, which was fantastic, and he just did the same thing. Obviously, he knew he can't do the exact same thing. He had to change this or change that or edit this. Doesn't matter. Overall, the movie is the same movie, and both times he did really good with it. And the 10th essential aspect is time. I personally know that this will stand the test of time for me. I mean, it is the live action version of one of my favorite animated movies. So for me, it will definitely stand the test of time. I feel like for the majority audience, if you didn't like the first one, you're not gonna like this one as much. It's not gonna stand the test of time for you, but it really does depend on the person. I feel like that category is very small. I feel like I don't know many people that didn't at least somewhat like the How to Train Your Dragon movie. So this on its own would stand the test of time just as well as the other one does, because it's almost as good of a movie. Obviously, it doesn't have as unique of a concept because it's been done plenty of times because it's based off of the first movie. It doesn't have the same great story as the first one does or the same kind of acting or anything because it's Years later, different actors, it's basically the same story, but slightly changed. It's live action, obviously. It's a lot different to do this cinematically and everything. But overall, I still think this movie will stand the test of time as, if not on its own, then at least as one of the better live action versions of an animated movie. I guess that's what I'm trying to say. Now, onto the ratings. So, Rotten Tomatoes critics gave it a 77%, Rotten Tomatoes audience gave it a 97%, and IMDb gave it an 81%. Yeah, I'm not surprised the audience gave it a 97%. It's a great movie. It's really good. It's not as good as the first one, but I mean, it's really good. I personally would put it around 80 to 85%. I feel like it's a really good movie. It has some problems, not so many that it's terrible, but it has some problems. But I just can't give it the same credit that the first one has. The first one to me is 90 plus. It's easily in that top 10, or not top 10 movies, but top 10%. I just strongly believe that. And this one is just the live action version of the same movie. So I can't give it the credit for as unique of a concept. When the first How to Train Your Dragon came out, it was unique. We haven't really seen too many Viking, dragon, and that kind of relationship that they have movies before that. This was kind of the birth of that kind of relationship of, hey, we're not enemies anymore, we're combining, and now everything's for the better. I haven't seen that before How to Train Your Dragon. That's kind of what opened my eyes to it. So that concept there was very good and very unique. Here, yes, it's just the same concept because it's the same movie. So I can't give it that same kind of credit. So yeah, I do think mid-80s is where this movie will belong, since that one belongs in the 90s. And finally, the rankings. So in 2025, it's going to be third, above 28 Years Later, and below Thunderbolts. Now, to me, Thunderbolts was an amazing movie, really good concepts, really good acting. I do think it is the better movie, especially since this one isn't as unique of a concept because it has been used before. So that wasn't a hard decision for me. But it also wasn't a hard decision to put it above 28 Years Later. I think it's definitely a better movie than 28 Years Later, even though that's an interesting concept, and yes, slightly more unique than this one. Not really, actually, because it's also a sequel, so I don't even know why I said that. I guess I was just making stuff up. But overall, I just think it's the better movie, so I clearly have to put it above it. In the 2020s, it's going to be 10th, above Hitman and below Inside Out 2. Now, for me, this belongs directly below Inside Out 2. It's very close. I think both movies have the same thing where they are technically sequels, even though this one's kind of a rerun of the same movie. So they are really good movies, and they do their own thing really, really good, but the concept isn't as unique because it's been done by its predecessor. So it's not anything crazy. So I think they're both really, really close. I do think Inside Out 2 is a little bit better because it is a sequel and it has its own storyline compared to the other one. It gives more and newer stuff to you compared to How to Train Your Dragon, which is just the earlier How to Train Your Dragon, but in live action now. So that's why I put it right below it, because I do think they're basically the same level of good movie. But so I had to put How to Train Your Dragon right below it. But that also made it easy to put it above Hitman. I think Hitman is a really good movie. It's really funny. It has an interesting concept. I just think I would rather sit down and watch How to Train Your Dragon a bunch of times before I would watch Hitman again, even though Hitman's a good movie. And in all time, it's going to be 26th. Again, as I said, right below Inside Out 2 for the same reasons, and above Project X. Now, Project X, I like more than most people do. People really hate on that movie for some reason. I think it's just super bad on steroids. Like, it's just really, really good. But I just think that the concept isn't as interesting. I mean, it's just a party. That's really the whole concept of the movie. And it's sure the way it's recorded, I love that POV style that they're doing to make it feel like almost you're at the party as well. And it makes it more of a realistic situation and a realistic story that you can compare your life to and kind of be involved in the movie. But I do think the concept of How to Train Your Dragon has it beat times 40. So I just have to give it the edge to How to Train Your Dragon. That's all I have for How to Train Your Dragon of 2025. If you guys enjoyed this review, make sure to leave a like and subscribe, and make sure to comment what movie or TV show you want me to review next. If you want to see someone that does something very similar to me, check out my best friend, Mr. Majoritarian. He does movie reviews just like I do, except he has 2 different all-time ongoing lists going on, one for cinematography and one for entertainment. So if that's something that you think you might enjoy, definitely check him out. His link will always be in my description. And I hope you guys have an amazing night. Peace out.